Welcome back. I'm talking about customizing guns because I come across a lot of people who they want to buy a gun and then they want to start adding all this stuff to it. And when I ask them, why do you want to add that? They're just like, oh, it's cool. Man, I think it'd be freaking sick if you, it's like, I mean, it is freaking sick if you know what you're doing. So I have the CZ P10F right here, and I did a video about this, did a review, and I've added a couple things to it, and I wanted to talk about why I added these things. So first things first, clear gun. Before you start adding stuff or start customizing your gun, I tell everybody you need to put 1,000 rounds downrange in a training environment. Not just you coming up to the range by yourself, having some type of coaching or something so you can get better. Because when I'm training people, I'm always putting them through things that they say, oh, I never would have thought about doing this, or I never would have thought about doing that. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of a coach. Even, you know, Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather, all these people, you know, Kobe Bryant, they all have coaches. Michael Jordan, even though they were great, they still had a coach to help them become better. 1,000 rounds downrange is going to get you more comfortable with your gun, and you're going to start to notice what you want to change, if anything. So I've put, I'd say maybe 1,500 rounds on this so far, and I decided a couple things. So this is a clear gun. First thing I decided was I want to start getting more comfortable shooting a red dot. So I have this Siley on here. I'm going to do a whole video reviewing this Siley red dot optic, but I like it. It has the shake awake, like, you know, the gun's on the table, it moves like that, and it's on. It's on. I haven't lost zero. I'll talk about it later. I have this O-light here. Rule number 4 of gun safety is you want to know your target and what's beyond it. Most bad things happen at night, so I want a light on the gun. I am very much aware that I could, you know, hold a light this way. I could do the, you know, FBI thing. I could hold it away and kind of distract from up here while I'm down here, stuff like that. But my job isn't getting into firefights every day. I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude, and if I'm awakened at 2 a.m. and I need to defend my house, I want both hands on the gun. It's just me. I don't have a bunch of little Romines running around yet, so I just want to have both hands on the gun. What's that? Nothing. Keep moving through the house. What's that? Nothing. I don't want to have to play around with all this and that. So that's why I have my light on my gun. I know why I have it on there. This right here is from Taylor Freelance. And this is like a weighted backstrap, and it's metal. So, okay, here's the thing. This adds, I think, 5.1 ounces to the gun, which I like because as I shoot more, I started to notice, man, I like heavier guns. I like guns that feel like guns. I don't like the feel of just all this polymer and no weight or anything. I like that. To me, it helps the gun stay more balanced and it helps me shoot more accurately. I know that because I've put a bunch of rounds down range. So here's the thing with that. Before you just go adding metal pieces to your frame, you need to know that adding metal to polymer sometimes might tear up the polymer a little bit. This isn't a big deal. But you just want to know that that can happen because the metal is going to be a lot more durable and a lot stronger than the polymer. And another thing that I added was this. This is a 21 round mag that came with the CZ P10F. Came with 2 of these. I got the 24 extension from Shield Arms. Now, I got this to give me 24. Like I love if I could fit 1,000 rounds in a magazine, I would, because America. But I also got it, you know, for the added magazine capacity, but to match the brown. And for this O-light, you know, there's this big thing about the quality of O-light, so on and so forth. This light has been dropped a bunch of times. I've dropped it on purpose a bunch of times to see if it would still work. And I changed the battery. I'm not just changing things or adding things because it looks cool. First and foremost is, will it work? Me dropping it, sliding across the floor, dropping it on concrete, stuff like that. It still works, it still turns on, it has a little rechargeable thing. But with the battery, it's a surefire rechargeable battery in here because the original battery tends to overheat. And when I had gotten it originally as a gift, I would notice that if I just left the light on, man, it would take maybe 60 seconds and the thing started getting hot and I would have to turn the light off. So you want to think about that too. Now, here's another thing. This slide, there's a magazine in here. So this slide stop should catch the slide. Let's see if it does. Oh, it doesn't, because the weight of this extension kind of pulls. You see, if you look here, that's me pushing it up. You see the slide stop moving up. That's how it would be normally. But this weight is weighing down the magazine, so I know that if I'm shooting this gun, I'm not going to get a last round hold open, which looks like that. You know, boom, 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 slide locks back because it catches the feed ramp. Now I'm going to have it regardless, but I know that that's something that I have to take into consideration. There's another thing that I have, I haven't gotten it yet because they're always out of stock. The thing's always out of stock every time I check for it. It's a slide stop extension right here because this is really flat. And over the course of me shooting, I even put an extended slide stop, that's the term I was looking for, an extended slide stop on my Glock 19X. I don't really have a problem with the slide stop size on the SIG P365, but smaller slide stops or slide stops that are really flat, I just don't like it. I don't care. Like, I remember when the Echelon came out and I was like, what is this? What is this? Toss it. I'm not using that. It was so small and so tiny. This I can kind of get to, but now that I've put the dot on it, I want my slide stop extended even more because I've realized that with the dot, I'm not necessarily slapping it all the time. Sometimes I am, but a lot of times I'm loading it from the front. And a lot of times when the slide is locked back, I prefer to just push it down. These are things that you'll start to understand when you shoot a lot with somebody who knows what they're doing. And you know, I'm not the end all be all where I just know everything. I consult other experts on stuff as well before I do it. But you just wanna know, I haven't changed the trigger because I don't feel the need to. And in my experience, seeing people who change their triggers, of course there are, you know, reputable trigger companies out there. But when you start changing the trigger, or the guide rod recoil spring system, that's where you typically start to see the most issues. So I left my trigger stock. This thing is just, it's so, yeah. I love it, I'm not changing it. I'm not changing it. And if I change the recoil spring, which I highly doubt, I would probably look at DPM systems because I've had a lot of experience with those and I haven't seen any issues. I think they have a really good product. So another thing is this CZ P10F has a threaded barrel. See, it's a thread protector here. So you see the little threads. So I could do a couple things. I could go with a suppressor or I could go with a compensator. So I have the Radian Ramjet Afterburner on my Glock 19X, which I'll talk about later. And they don't have that for the CZ platform. So I was looking at another company, which I'm not even gonna worry about talking about because I personally don't wanna go that route, although I've heard good things about it. I just think the installation on it is a little bit much. But when you're installing sometimes these compensators or accessories for your barrel, sometimes it's a semi-permanent solution. And if you're ever going to switch barrels or clean your gun or whatever, you're going to have to work around it. So I decided to not go that route and just keep it like this. And at some point, I might put a suppressor on it. I might not. I might just leave it like this because I kind of like how it looks. But that's just a little bit of what I'm doing with my gun. I haven't done anything with the magazine release. Sometimes people get those extended because they're like, oh, I can't reach with my thumb and eject the magazine. But I'll tell them, hey, before you get the magazine release changed, how about you try swooping your thumb? So you got your grip, and then you swoop your thumb down to the magazine release and do it that way. Yeah, I caught it. Because if it's too extended, that support hand might push out the magazine. And now you're getting, a shot that goes off, and then you get click because the magazine keeps getting pushed out and it doesn't feed the next bullet into the chamber. So I see a lot of people doing a lot. Some stuff I approve of, some stuff when I look at it, I think, oh my goodness, what were you thinking? But no matter what you do, it's not for me or anybody else to judge what you're doing with your gun, but you want to make sure that when you start changing things, you maintain its reliability. There are a few things I've seen out there that improve reliability in certain guns, and you want to, consult a gunsmith, consult an instructor, consult somebody who works on guns all the time or has a lot of experience with them. And then you put the time in on the range to get comfortable with your gun, because you might not want to change anything. I know a lot of guys who just run a stock Glock 19, and they're like, yep, I even keep the dot with the field go post, the regular iron sights that it comes with, and they're like, yeah, it works for me, I shoot great, praise God, whatever. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, this thing is nice, I really like it. All right, I'll holler at y'all on the next one. Like, comment, subscribe. Hope you found that valuable. Roman.